In this video, I'll be teaching you how to solve mechanics problems without memorizing formulas. If this is your first time of coming across our videos, please do subscribe to our channel so that you don't mix important questions. Here we teach from first principle. You don't need to cram anything. You need to understand it from basic. So here you have a problem. A block weighing 100 kg is pulled from rest by a horizontal force of 534 Newton. If the coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is 0.35, question 1. The acceleration of the block is dash. The velocity of the block after 10 seconds is dash. That's question 2. Question 3. The distance covered by the block after 10 seconds is dash. And the last question is the normal reaction on the block is dash. Now, when you see this kind of question, you need to understand this is coming from mechanics. So the first thing is you draw your free body diagram to be able to analyze what you are asked to solve. So let's draw our free body diagram. So here, this block 100 kg is pulled from rest. So this block is pulled from rest by a force of 534 Newton. And now you remember that as this block is put from rest, it is moving like this. There is a force that acts against it, what we call what? Frictional force. So the frictional force tends like this in the opposite direction. Now, if you want to analyze the forces on this block, in the y-axis, this block has a weight. Remember, the weight is what is pulling this block down. So the weight acts like this. And then from Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So as the weight is pulling it down, there is normal reaction here. So we call it N. So now we are asked to find question 1, the acceleration of this block. Remember from Newton's second law, summation of forces is equals to MA. Now we have forces both on the x direction and on the y direction. So we are going to sum them differently. So summing forces on the y direction, how many forces can you see? You can see the weight. Weight is the force with which the earth pulls an object downward. So this is weight. And now, as the block is resting on this floor, due to this weight that pushes it down the floor, there is a force that is equal and opposite to that weight, which is our normal reaction. So we are going to, now the sign convention, ordinarily we choose like this, upward to be positive and downward to be negative. So we are going to be having our N, which is the normal reaction, minus the weight to be equals to MA. This is summation on the y direction. Now on the x direction, what are the forces you are seeing? The force that this thing is pulled, which is now, it is always advisable you choose your direction, the movement, where your body is moving to be positive. So as this is moving like this, you choose this to be positive. Now every other force against that direction is negative. So as this is pulled like this, the frictional force that is against it should be negative. All right? So this is also equals to MA. I think these are all the forces in this diagram. But remember, the movement on this question is on the x-axis. There is no movement on the y-axis. And due to that, there will be no acceleration on the y-axis. So this summation of f of y is equals to 0. Because ay is equals to what? 0. Alright, so let's rewrite this equation. Rewriting the equation, you will see that N minus W is equals to what? 0. So this implies that what? N is equals to 0. Alright? Now, what is your W? Remember, weight is mass times acceleration due to gravity. So we are going to be having N to be equals to mg. So this is equals to the mass of the body is 100 times 9.81. This gives you 981 Newton. All right. Remember, this is for summation of forces on the y direction. Okay. Now on the x direction, where there is movement, that is where we'll be looking for our acceleration. So summation of forces on the x direction, like we defined, is going to be the force minus the frictional force, which is equal to what? Ma. Okay, but remember, your frictional force is equal to what? Mu times normal reaction, where this mu is your coefficient of friction, which was given in the equation. So now from here we are looking for A. From here we are looking for A. So we can see that A is equal to F minus FR over M. All right. Do we have our FR? Yes. Our FR is equals to mu normal reaction, which is 0.35 from the question, times our normal reaction is 981. If you substitute into this equation, our acceleration is going to be force was given in the equation to be 534 minus this is 0.35 times 981, all right, over the mass of the body is 100. So our acceleration is 1.91 meter per second square. So we have solved the first question. So the question 2, find V when t is equals to 10 seconds. All right. So you remember the equations of motion. V is equals to u plus at. I hope you still remember this equation. All right. So from here, remember this question says that the ball is pulled from rest, right? The ball is pulled from rest, meaning that this is initial velocity. This is our final velocity, what we are looking for. This is acceleration of the mass, not ball, sorry. This is acceleration of the mass, and this is the time. So from here, our initial velocity is 0 plus what is acceleration? We have found it to be 1 point. So yeah, you have to be careful, because if your acceleration is wrong, every other thing you are doing here is wrong. So we have this, and this gives us a 19.1 meter per second. All right. So question number 3. It is that easy if you understand it from first principle. The distance covered by the block after 10 seconds. So you can use, if you remember the equations of motion, you can use any of the formulas to solve it. Remember, we have this to be equals to ut plus half at squared. All right. You can use this. If you want to use it, this is equals to, we are looking for this now. All right. So this is equals to, remember, the thing was pulled from rest, so u is 0. So over here you have 0 plus half times 1.91 times 10 squared. All right. So if you punch this gives us 95.5 meters. Question 4, which is the last question. What is question 4? The normal reaction on the block is dash. The normal reaction. Do you need to solve any other thing again? Remember when we started, we defined that our N, which is the normal reaction, is equals to what? W. And we found it to be what? 981. And now they are asking you again, what is the normal reaction on the block? Are you solving any other thing again? No. So our normal reaction is what? 981 Newton. So it is very easy to solve Makenis problem if you understand it from first principle. If you have not subscribed, please go back and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss our tutorials. Thank you and see you in the next video.